Hello and happy Friday! Welcome back to FAQ Friday, the series where I am tackling your most frequently asked questions. And today's question is, what is my least favorite thing about being a software engineer? If you didn't see my last video, or my last FAQ Friday video, I should say, I talked about my favorite things about being a software engineer, so I will go ahead and leave a link in the description if you would like to check out the video. So just like my favorite things about being a software engineer, I do have a few things that I don't really love about being a software engineer or the tech industry as a whole. So let's go ahead and talk about them. So the first one that pops into my brain is the very, very large barrier to entry to becoming a software engineer and the technical interview process as a whole. I don't think it's an understatement to say that there are thousands, if not tens of thousands, of available job openings for software engineers, but something that stops a lot of engineers from actually becoming paid engineers is the technical interview process. There is nothing like going through 6 or 7, maybe even 8 rounds of technical interviews where you're being challenged on data structures and where you are doing live codings or whiteboarding, only to go through all of those interviews and to be told that you're not technical enough or to be told that you're not what they're looking for. The interview process as a whole is so draining, and you have to study so much. The technical interview process is not like anything I ever experienced before like joining this industry, and it's not exactly like anything I've seen in any other industry. It's definitely something of its own, and it can be a killer to your inspiration and to your motivation to actually continue on your engineering journey, to be turned down so many times or told that you're not enough or told that your work isn't enough after going through so many rounds of interviews. You definitely really put yourself out there every time you do an interview, but I think that the hiring process in general is broken. I can't think of how many times I've done some data structures and algorithm problems, which is fine to do if they are pertinent to the work that I'm actually going to be completing. I think that by testing people on things that aren't actually pertinent to their job, you are restricting a lot of people that have very specialized skill sets in one thing but might not be strong in another field, basically. So I wish that we as an industry could come up with a better way to interview people, but until that happens, this is sort of what we're stuck with. But yeah, that's the first thing that I can think of right off the bat that I hate about being a software engineer or this industry, is that it's really, really hard for people to get their foot in the door. The next thing that I can think about is the constant imposter syndrome that I feel. Because this industry moves so quickly and we're always learning, which if you know me, you know that I love learning and I love to learn new things, but sometimes it can sort of make me feel like I don't know anything. So I just started a new job recently, and when I tell you I was fighting imposter syndrome for quite a long time, I was really thinking, I was like, wow, am I even a software engineer? Like, do I even know anything? And it's not that I don't know anything. When you're trying to learn something new and it's difficult and it's challenging and it can be frustrating, sometimes it sort of makes you think that you're not good at it or that you're not cut out for it. But what I really have to do a lot is sit down and look at where I've come from. Even just 3 years ago when I completed a Revitr's program and became a software engineer, like an officially paid software engineer, or back to where I was like in high school or in college. I am a way better engineer now than I ever imagined that I could be. So a lot of it is taking time to sit, reflect, understand that this is hard stuff. Like, if it was easy, then it would be easy, but it's not. And that's okay. It just takes a little bit longer to learn, and some concepts are just harder than others, but it's not a reason to give up or think that you're not good in other subjects that you are. And the third thing that I don't really love about being an engineer sometimes is not being taken seriously. In some tech spaces, especially on the good old internet, I find that my work or my past work is invalidated strictly because there are some people who are not happy that I, as a Black woman, occupy space in this industry, and it's become evident a little bit more as I've started to create content online and put myself out there, which is fine. But that is really difficult to deal with sometimes when you're just trying to help other people and bring other people up. But some people don't like that, and sometimes words hurt. But that's why I create content. I need people to see that there is no mold that you have to fit to be an engineer or to work in the tech industry as a whole, and that everybody can do it if they put their mind to it. But yeah, those are the few things that I can think of right off the top of my head when I think about the things that I don't necessarily love about being a software engineer, but I would love to hear from you. What are your least favorite things about being an engineer? Or if you're an aspiring engineer, what are some things that you're finding on your journey that you don't really love? Or if you have another question, go ahead and open the link in my description for a little form where you can submit your question, and I will create a little video just like this with my answer in another FAQ Friday video. But until then, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.